Good evening, all of you, all the dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, my pranams, greetings. I'm really honored to be invited in this function, which is a concluding function of this Baitak. I was thinking that such a congregation, when it is happening, the topic that you have already discussed, Shri Vivekananda Pai has already gave a highlight about it. But then from my side, I would like to share only a little bit of topics which could be of importance to you. Because I come from a background of science and technology. And we also deal with people, especially the people in education, deal with students, budding scientists, youth who is full of energy, who wants to do something for the nation. They will come up and tell us, look at India. We claim to be one of the nation who used to be one top in the science and technology domain maybe many years back. And due to historical reasons, whatever claims that we had has all been washed away. Today we are dependent on the brought out technology and science. And those indigenous science and technology that we developed here, though we claim quite about it, but are being criticized, are being looked upon, not as technology and sciences, but as some, those findings that you are drawing from some literature. Recently, one doctor has written about yoga. He said, yoga is not scientifically proven to produce any useful results. And there is some other writing which I have heard about Ayurveda, the same criticism. It looked upon Ayurveda as not rigorously scientifically evaluated to have any medical benefit. I think many such scientific findings that originated from Bharat. There are many. I think you know about all of them. The Vedic mathematics, the metallurgical processes of zinc, iron and many other melting, Ayurveda, yoga, linguistics, rocketry, astronomy. I think many other domains that came up. Though little bit of literature and scientific proofs are available, that we lack today is the process of rigorously addressing them and looking at from the eyes of the modern world. Of course, this modern has always been an issue. I had an opportunity to discuss with one of the doctor who is an MBBS in the modern science and as well as a BAM, an Ayurvedic medicine degree holder, both. She told me the whole issue of looking at scientifically these two domains is like looking at a religion from the philosophy of another religion. They are very different. It's the philosophy that matters, each of them. So when you look at the modern science and the way of rigor of scientifically looking at it and proving it, sometimes creates problem because the philosophy of Ayurveda is entirely from the philosophy of the modern medicine. I think all of you know the modern medicine looking at people who will be treated with the medicine and some another set of people who will be looked at and treated with the medicine for a particular disease. But we know Ayurveda is not looking at disease as an element that need to be cured by the application of the medicine. They don't look at even disease, they look at the whole of the person, his life, his environment, where he comes from. And it's a whole of body science, which includes body, mind and everything. And you cannot treat through an Ayurveda the way you treat through a modern medicine. So the matrices of evaluation are different. And this is the classic conflict that exists in proving many scientific problems from the eyes of the modern, from the eyes of the oriental. This is something which we need to make and address to the community of scientists who are dealing with this domain. I come from the space area. I think all of you know that we have made great strides in space and science and technology. Building of rockets, building of satellites, launching them, looking at Earth, looking at heavens, looking at moon and Mars and planetary bodies, something that we have really achieved in the last journey of 60 years. And this is built by the people of India. Today we all know that it is not a borrowed technology. Of course we got help in the early phase of our building it. But then quite a bit of it has been built in the recent years is indigenous. When we landed our Chandrayaan on the moon, I can proudly say it is built in India by our Indian people. The instruments that found its way to reach moon and land precisely were all built by us, not purchased. It means that we have the taqat, we have the capability to do it in India. And this is something that gave the confidence to those young people who look at this mission as a great accomplishment. And I tell them that you have that ability to learn from what you have been looking at from the West. You look at very, very sincerely, but you need to create it on your own. And when you look at the future, this nation towards the future, we see science and technology as an important element in the transformation. As Sunil Ambedkar ji just mentioned, we need to depend on the knowledge of science and technology for the progress of the nation. And Vijnana Bharati can do quite a bit on it, quite a lot on it. Let me tell a few domains which will be very, very important in the days to come. As a nation of 140 crore people, for us, food becomes very, very important. Agriculture is one of the important domains that we need to address. And continuing to provide sustainable food, water, and all the essential livelihood items for the people will become very important topic when many issues like the climate change and other issues that slowly going to grip us. So here we need to apply technology in a bigger manner. Another important domain for us is education, and connect education to innovation, to industry and research. This domain is also equally important. The growth of science and technology happens only when there is an active research happening somewhere. And the research happening in institutions are connected to industry to produce a product. There is a weakness in the system today in this country to a greater extent, I must tell you. Having a little bit of exposure to this domain, I can tell you, the type of research that contribute to innovation, converting that into a product in industry to produce a business, I think those links are still very weak. I think this is one area that we need to address and solve over the years. Of course, we are very good in IT enabled and electronics. I think this area need to be expanded in the coming years. Because we know today the future of the economy is going to be driven by these three elements. We need to focus on it, and I'm very happy that it's happening today. Of course, there are many other domains that are connected to some of these areas, but then I can tell you that if you have strength in these three, I think we will be great in the world. Of course, I can tell you that in the domain of education, since we are in the MIT World Peace University and it is great beautiful hall, we must thank such people. Over the last few years, I had opportunity to visit many universities that have come up in India. The research ecosystem that has been created in these universities are phenomenal in terms of equipments, research fundings, capable professors and faculty. Only thing that we need to do today is connecting those institutions, academic institutions with the industries. This is still very much lacking. In fact, I had an opportunity to talk to many of those industrialists who have been working in this domain, not drawing much of their innovations from these universities for building a business. This connect is something that is very, very essential, and how to invest in educational system for promoting research in such universities should be one of the important topics that we must drive in the days to come. It could be in many areas. It could be in IoT. It could be in agricultural support system. It could be in developing new sensors that will help us to better the watering, application of fertilizers, crop forecasting, or maybe better utilization of land, degradation of land evaluation, and many things can be done using application of technology even just in agricultural field. Of course, in the domain of electronics and IT, I think we have made great inroads into infotech. For example, in the fintech area, we have made great inroads, especially the technology that has shown useful product in building, finance connected to the technology. But then in terms of products and services that you are able to build indigenously, we still lack. We working in space area, I can tell you, the rockets and spacecraft that we build, 95% of the rockets are built in India using our own materials. Only 5% of the materials are important. But for satellites, I am still importing 50% of the materials because satellites contains that much of electronics. And if you have to depend on our own knowledge and skill to build satellites for the future, it's just not satellites, it will be your mobile phones, it could be your communication equipments, it could be your strategic equipments. Everywhere electronics plays an important role. And if you have to be self-reliant, you need to invest and create that capability over a period of time. And this becomes one of the important domains that we need to invest and create. Just not some of the commercial foundries that are coming is just not enough. Research has to happen. Capacities of people has to be increased in universities. So this is one important area, and that connect between industries to do innovation in electronics and IT revolution is something very much essential for the nation to reverse this trend that has been lost over the last 20-30 years. I can prolong on topics of this nature, but then it's not the topic of discussion today. But I want to thank you for the direction that you are taking in bringing the findings of our ancient forefathers in many domains. For example, mathematics, for example, the work done in mathematics is phenomenal, especially in the domain of Vedic mathematics. 2 days back, I was in Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. There is one Professor Adimurthy. He showed me 5 books on Vedic mathematics, written by a great scholar in Andhra Pradesh, a lady who is 95 years. She has written the book on Vedic mathematics, and on the left side, you can see the classical mathematics, how they are solved in differential equations and numerical techniques. And on the right side, it is shown how we can solve the same problems with much ease and much faster using the approaches in the Vedic mathematics. Really wondered to see those 5 volumes of thick books using the techniques that have been developed in Vedic styles in mathematics. And how many of us are teaching our students these methods and techniques which can actually revolutionize the way in which we think in the approaches to mathematics teachings in the schools and colleges. We must pick up those elements and then bring it to the universities. Possibly you know about Surya Siddhanta, the one which talked about the movement of earth around the sun, how to calculate the distance of the moon around the earth. That's almost equal, very well calculating the diameters of earth and moon, the periodicity, everything is calculated beautifully in that text. A Sanskrit text talks about the entire astronomical findings of that time, which travel from India to the Arabic nations and back to Europe, which created the astronomical revolution of astronomy science in those parts of the world which we couldn't gather, which came back to us through various other channels today. We need to look at it and then work on it and continue the research that we did on that topics for the years to come, so as to gain that prominence that we lost over the last so many years. Let me bless and wish Vijnana Bharati will lead that light to bring that glory to us once again. My greetings and best wishes for all those who are taking part in this, and be very thankful to being invited today to be amongst those luminaries who are sitting here. Thank you so much.